Today what we're going to do is go through the process of fitting an assessment of an adaptive rider. And I've got Bill here who's going to come in and we're going to go through the steps that I think of and how we fit accordingly. So as Bill approaches me, I can get a pretty good sense of adjustment and balance and range of motion. Bill has a little bit of practice on getting on a bike, so he's already been instructed, approach the bike, turn, sit, and bring your leg over. We have a pedal here. I'm going to reach down here and give him a little help.
Yeah, I'm going to get this other foot.
It's got a heel cup on it, so that it's going to help give support so that the foot doesn't fall down off the ground.
You grab that.
And I've got another adjustment here, where what we can do is take a look and see how that foot is in place to the rest of his body. There's a magic number in what we do. It's called the X seam. And the X seam is from the back, his backside to his full extended foot, where we want just a slight bend at the knee. Pedaling backwards kind of gives me the sense of range of motion, not with a load or without a load, and then pedaling forwards would what we would be doing if we were on the street. So we got really lucky here. It's fitted where he's got a good bend on the knee. He's got full range of motion on the prosthetic. I feel pretty good.
Feels fine.
If it was off, what we would do is we can adjust at 2 points. Back to the X seam, I can adjust the seat by slide. This particular bike, you slide the seat forward and backward, and pretty much from the experience that we have, if we know what the X seam is, we know how to set that bike up before the individual gets on it, or we're pretty close. We can fine tune or micro adjust by coming back to the recline function of the bike. And I'm just going to reach up to you, and I'm going to, while you're pedaling, I can lift up, apologize. I can go up and down. See how that changes the angle? And so we know that a little up, just by watching you move.
Feels great.
Just accordingly. Okay, so that's the first step. Is it comfortable? Do you have full use and range of motion of your legs? And then we're going to ask more questions on, before we turn you loose, where's your helmet? Okay, then we're going to look at what is your range of motion on, how do you squeeze the brakes? Can you show me the right brake, the left brake? Are you familiar with each bike might have a different type of gearing system. So there's rapid fire, there's twist grip, there's automatic shifting. So each individual is different, each bike can be different, but the principles of fitting are the same. So now that we've got a good comfort setting and a good performance setting to the fitting of the bike for Bill, we want to make sure that it's roadworthy. When we're looking at tire pressure, every tire made in the world has directions or an indicator of what the tire pressure should be. So to simplify it, just go with factory spec. There is a valve on each tire. There are different types. There's Schrader and Presta that most good pumps will be able to adapt to. So check your pressure. Sometimes you can feel it. Get an indicator on the side of the bike or on the side of the tire, and pressurize accordingly. Make sure they're all balanced. Take a look and see if there's anything that doesn't look right. And you can do that. That's your first step. We don't need a flat tire anytime, but certainly not in the middle of the road or the middle of the ride, rather, on a bike path. So we've checked out our tire pressure. Now we're talking about brakes. So to look at the brakes, you can visually see if if it's a cable activated brake or a hydraulic brake, you can't see so well. But what we're going to do is grab the lever and feel if we've got good positive pressure and engagement. So, and that's what Bill's doing right there. So that's your first, even before you get on the bike, you can say, hey, what's going on? There are adjustments on brake systems. They are different, but in general speaking, if it is a mechanical brake, we have the ability to reach down over here, and there's a barrel on the cable, and that will change the adjustment of the brake and the tension on the brake. That would be the easiest step. The next step would be if the lever is coming all the way in, it's not tight, we want to tighten that up. And you can see it move on the wheel itself if you're looking at it, and we can adjust the cable length with a basic Allen key. In the cable world, we're working with shifting, we're working with brakes, and so with a derailleur, you've got a cable that is controlled by an up and down or a twist grip that will control the tension of the cable, which transfers down to a derailleur, which has been set up, and that's where the gears are changed. So when we look at the cables and we know that they're clean, we're going, okay, that's great. But are they tuned actually to the particular bike? And what we're looking for is that when you change a gear, that it doesn't skip a gear, that it does a positive change, 1, 2, 3, 4, depending on how many gears you have, that it's not jumping gears. So that adjustment is the same as the brakes. We can adjust the cable length, we can fine tune it or micro adjust it with a barrel on the end of the cable. But those are just things that we can try before we even get on the bike. Ultimately, we want to get on the bike and road test it, if you will, and right around the parking lot, going through all of the gears is ultimately the best way to define that. If a cable is pinched in such a way that it deforms, it can cause an interference, and the functionality of either the brake or the shifting can be impeded or be affected. So what we want to do is make sure everything looks good on the outside, and that's usually a pretty good indication that we're good on the inside. Okay, so when we're looking at the chain line, we're looking, is it clean? Is it straight? That tells us we're probably in pretty good health, but we want to make sure that it's not sloppy chain, that the chain has got tension in any of the gears that we might choose. The final thing that we're looking at are quick releases that are typically on bikes for ease of adjustment and removal of wheels, and we just need to make sure that those are securely closed. In this particular bike, we have a quick release on the boom, and it's a simple open and close. It's on the back side here, but we would reach down here, and I can open and close it, kind of like it's got a lever to it, and it's got a back nut as well. So you can tighten it if you feel like it's not secure by rotating it, like a screw with a lever on it, and making sure that those are properly closed, that they're not interfering with the movement of the individual when they're pedaling, and that they're not going to slip while he's pedaling up a hill under a heavier load. So now that we've gone over the bike and we've got a good fitting and we've checked out all the mechanical function, we put on a helmet and we do a quick test ride before we go out for our big ride. So what we're looking for in a test ride is that in a parking lot environment or controlled environment, that we've got the brakes working, that our rider is working well with the brakes and the gear shifting, and then everybody's comfortable and any questions are answered before we go out onto the road. With all that in mind, we're ready to go for the ride.